Welcome back to another episode of Entrepreneurs Creating OMG Moments. I'm excited today because we're going to be talking about how to raise your prices and get high paying clients. I have a special guest with me. Ann Carden is here, and she has been doing this for years, has helped hundreds of people, and started getting their businesses to a point where they can offer these high converting, high paying programs and growing your businesses. And she started multiple businesses over the years. And I'm excited to have her here and sharing her expertise. And it's so great to have you here.
Thank you, Tami. It is a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about how you got started doing this.
So I've been coaching and consulting for about 14 years, but I got started in doing that because I had built multiple businesses for myself after leaving a 13-year corporate career in business management, and was a stay-at-home, wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and my husband's paycheck just didn't cut it. The math just didn't work, and we were financially struggling. So I started my first business, which actually started to just help my family with making a little bit of money and helping my family out. But that turned into a full blown business that went global. That was 34 years ago. And since then, I've built and sold 5 previous businesses to the 2 that I have now. So I have my consulting business, and then I have my Expert in You marketing and media agency. So 2 sides.
Awesome. How do you balance the two sides? I mean, it's hard when you just have one business, let alone two. So how do you figure out that balance?
Yeah, they actually work really well together, which is really where the agency side came from.
Mhm.
So my agency is a little bit different in the fact that I don't really go out there and market the agency side the way most people would market a business.
Yeah.
It's a natural fit for the clients that I work with. So if they want to get their book written, we can write their book. If they need social media work, we can get that done for them. If they want to get on stages, we can apply to stages for them. So it's a really good fit to what I'm already doing with people. And I don't have to really market it separately. I mean, once in a while I'll go out there and do that. But yeah, it really feeds their business while it's feeding my business as well.
Yeah, and that's a great example of like how you've taken what do your current clients need and kind of expanded that to be able to provide
Yes.
service. Yes. We
Yes.
do something similar as well with a lot of our programs where we have done for you and we have an agency and
Mhm.
systems we can help you get set up. So it's a smart way for those of you listening, like thinking about what else can I support my current clients with is always a great way to see how do you expand, how do you grow.
Yeah.
Well, and I'd love to hear, we were talking a little bit earlier, like you have some incredible OMG moments that you have created in your life and in your business. Share a couple of those with us.
If I go back to one of let's see, my second, no, I'm gonna go back to my very first business. So again, 34 years ago, this was kind of a doll business. It was a craft doll business, and crafts were kind of exploding across the country. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have computers, all those things, but that business was able to go global. And I'll never forget the day I got a call from Iceland for my dolls. And I thought that was just the coolest thing ever. Now that wouldn't probably be a big deal to people because we do business with people all over the world. But back then, that was a real OMG moment for me. I just felt so excited about that. Also, when my dolls ended up on the cover of an international magazine, they were selected. So I would say those were 2 at the very beginning stages of business that I really still remember and reflect back on.
Yeah, and I think those first are always so important, right? First time you get
Definitely.
that call, the first time you're on the
Yeah.
magazine. And I know you've had some more recent OMG moments too. Share a few of those with us.
I have. I think one of the things that actually started me in my coaching and consulting business, and the Expert in You brand that I now have, was I was really kind of struggling in the coaching space because of what I had been taught, and I had bought into coaching business organization, and a lot of the coaches were struggling. And just everything they were teaching really just wasn't working. It's not like I wasn't learning anything with that, but I thought this isn't really leveraging all of my years of experience in building and selling businesses. And so I took a step back and I said, what's not working here? And I realized that the one thing that I was not doing was selling premium. I didn't have a premium business model. And I had always done that in all of my other businesses. And it was the one thing that allowed me to expand. It gave me the profitability and the money to continue to grow and expand my businesses and do things that others were not doing. It always allowed me to stay cutting edge. And I wasn't doing that in my coaching business. So that was a real aha moment for me. And when I applied that to my business, when I crafted that entire model and I applied it just literally exploded my business overnight. But the cool thing was when I helped some other people do it, it literally, like I had a guy that went, not making any revenue claims here, but I had a guy that went from zero to almost $1 million in his first year. I had somebody add hundreds of thousands of dollars in a few months and buy her dream home. That was like, oh my gosh, I have something here that's really making a difference in people's lives and in their businesses. So that was a real eye opener for me.
Oh, so good. And seeing that you were missing that piece, right? I think so many times people
Yes.
don't realize what they're missing in their business and being able to identify what that was for you, what was going to help take you to that next level and really give you the financial freedom to be able to do other things so you know that you have that premium income coming in and premium clients that you're being able to work with, which give them huge results. So that is incredible. What did you find was like the biggest challenge in making that transition from going from where you were in your coaching business to having those premium offers?
Yeah, I think the first thing is I had to realize what the opportunity was, and I really had to expand my mindset because when I came into the coaching space, everybody I was around, and even the organization I was in, it was all around making six figures, six figures, six figures, which is $100,000. Which, by the way, FYI, that's about a $30,000 to $40,000 income after you make your first six figures. So you're probably going to spend almost that much learning how to make that when you come into this space.
Mhm.
And then from there, by the time you take out taxes and business expenses, it's not much of an income. But that's what was being taught. And that is everything I was around. So when I worked with a coach actually who said, you can get multiple five-figure clients. And I didn't have exposure to that in the coaching or consulting industry when I first came into it. So that was a huge aha moment for me. And I realized when I saw the value that I was bringing to my clients, even from the very beginning, I remember my very first client I worked with, she had a retail store, and I wanted to see if I could business coach. And I knew her from networking with my other businesses. And I said, let me just see if I can help you. And she said, great. And she paid me $197 a month for 3 months. That was my package offer. The first week, the very first week, she ran a 300% increase in her store. And my second client, I uncovered a $500,000 opportunity in her business that she didn't even know was there in our very first session. And once I did that, I'm like, okay, these skills are transferable. Wow, I do not want to be charging fees when I'm helping people make a lot of money. Why am I broke? Why am I staying broke? Why am I staying stuck? And those were all the things. So when this coach came onto the scene and said, okay, you can get paid multiple five figures. I mean, I just remember what that very first $30,000 sale was like. And that was, again, 13 or 14 years ago. But it, it was I had to expand my mind because of what I was around. And now I've helped people get $400,000 clients. So when you start playing in that with those bigger numbers, it's just a game changer. And it's not just a game changer for you, but the clients that you're working with, it's so significant for them as well. So yeah, that was a big thing for me.
It's huge. And looking at it's exciting when you get that first, you mentioned the first one was like 30,000, you get a
Yes.
$30,000 day and all that comes in compared to the 197 and seeing that
Yeah.
transition. And it's okay to start at the 197 to prove the value. And you did that and did it quickly so that you could go out and prove that what you offer has incredible value. So
Yeah.
people could see that this isn't just something you're just throwing out there without having any credibility or authority behind it. So now you've been able to work with hundreds of people, help them grow their businesses. Give an example of like for your high ticket, like what do you include in that?
Yeah, so my Expert in You Million Dollar Accelerator, it's really designed to help people add that $1 million. It's a path to add $1 million to their business. And there are basically four buckets that I work in. So my framework or my method is all around your packaging premium offers, so that it's around your revenue model, having a revenue model that's actually going to help you get to the levels that you want. So a good example of this, I always say you can add $1 million with a handful of clients if you have things priced right. So let's say you're selling $50,000 offers. You only need 20 clients to be able to get to $1 million. So that's a very different model from what a lot of people are out there teaching. So the first one is packaging premium offers. The second piece of that is positioning. So how do you stand out in a crowded market, in a saturated market? How do you look like you are worth those types of prices and those fees? I always say you want to look like the Lamborghini, not the cheap used car. There's a big difference there. And then the third piece of that is promotion. So you've got to have great marketing and sales systems. And I teach high impact marketing strategies. So that's where you're going to get the biggest amount of reach for the work that you're doing, or you are like you're really building your visibility and your influence at the same time you're generating leads. So that would be a podcast strategy, a high impact podcast strategy. That could be guesting, that could be hosting. We do speaking on stages, stepping into the spotlight, I call it, running virtual events, it's speaking virtually. So all things that again are leveraging your time and they're giving you more reach, but they're also giving you that added visibility, that added influence. A lot of people are doing lead generation, but it's not really building their influence or their brand. And I kind of
Mhm.
teach the opposite. So the promotion side is we determine what's going to be the best strategy for you and your business. And that's all customized. So my program is very customized for the people that I'm working with. And then the fourth piece of that is profitability. And that's where you can do very much like what I did. Okay, what else do your clients need? What can you add? I have partnerships with a lot of people that do a lot of these services for me. So I don't necessarily employ all these people in my company, right? So I'm partnered. So how can we now scale your business, but do it in the most profitable way? And then what's next for you? How can you now invest and go other avenues once you start making that money and you start really getting that scalability that you're looking for? So it's really designed to add, seven figures, but it's designed to do that in a premium model. Not a lot of my clients, for example, never get to offering anything for $197. They just don't, that's not an interest to them. They want to play at a higher level. And there are two different types of clients. And so that's really what the program is all about. But it's very high touch. I also include a luxury retreat in that, where I rent a mansion and bring in a private chef. We do some fun things, like we're always doing some kind of an excursion or adventure. We've done hot air balloon rides, we've done zip lining, horseback riding. What else? I don't know. River cruises and lake cruises, dinner cruises. So doing some fun things. So that's included. But I think the thing that really makes my program very different is that it's very high touch. So I only take 6 per group, which is very different. A lot of people have big old mastermind groups. Mine is not like that. It really is a kind of a hybrid of private coaching and group coaching. It's not even really group coaching. Everybody gets their time with me on those calls. So it's a different model.
Yeah, I love that. And I think the hybrid approach can be so powerful. And being able to get that one-on-one with you, getting the customized feedback, all of that, but then also having a group that helps hold you accountable. And the fact that you keep it to that small group, I'm sure they build a great network with each other and really get to know each other.
Yeah, it's really, I have found that to be, for me, one the most enjoyable model. I've
Mhm.
done things where I've worked with lots of people. I didn't enjoy that model because I can't give everyone the service. And I think one of the things I don't like about the coaching industry are the volume methods. I've been in group programs where you didn't even know the person that started the program. You were working with, a lot of times I was working with coaches that didn't even know as much as I did. That was very
Mhm.
frustrating after paying a lot of money to be in a program. So I personally kind of don't care for those types of programs. And so I'm just not going to do it. To me, I don't want to make money like that. I would rather make money on a premium level and really give people the impact and help them. For example, if I can even help somebody bring in a 40 or $50,000 client and all they've made up to that point is a $3,500 sold a $3,500 package, that's a big impact for somebody. That's just the level that I choose to work in.
Yeah. And that's great. I mean, you found your niche, you found what works for
Mhm.
you. And I've been there as well, where you sign up for a program that one person sold you on and you never see that person again. They don't show up for the calls. And it's frustrating, right? And I've been assigned coaches who hadn't made as much as I had and didn't know
Uh-huh.
as much. And I'm giving them strategies. And I'm like, what is happening here?
I
So
know you coach them, right? I can't even tell you the amount of people I've invested in. Yes,
yeah,
where I
and
coach
and
them.
so I love that you keep it small. I am very similar in the sense that I like the small groups, right?
Mhm.
I love when you can create that connection with everybody versus
Yes.
I've done coaching programs what that I've had that we started to expand and it got bigger and bigger and I just felt like we were losing touch with
Mhm.
people. And
Yeah.
when they
I
show up, you want to know who they are and what they're doing. And I feel like that's how you can help them even more.
Yeah. And I've also bought into programs where I liked one thing that they knew that I didn't know, or it was
Yeah.
something different. So you had to buy their whole program, right? And I
Mhm.
would buy into those programs. And then it was a big group. And what I found, I was in there with a lot of people, and I ended up coaching a lot of people in there. That's what happened with the organization I was with. I figured it out. So then they started sending me coaches because I figured it out. And I would say to these coaches, and this is really where my brand came from, I would say, what was your background? Because they were struggling to be business coaches. And
Mhm.
they would say, oh, I was a music teacher. Why are you trying to be a business coach? Have you ever owned
Right.
a business? Have you ever built a business? No, they just bought into a program.
Yeah.
That was a real aha for me because I thought, this is crazy. People need to be building a bit. I built all my businesses around something that I already knew how to do,
Mhm.
something that I was already good at. And so that's what I teach people. Don't go looking for something to build a business around. Don't go buying into something to build a business around. Do it around things that you're already familiar with or you already know. And then you don't actually have to start out at those low fees like I did. You can start out at a premium level. If you're coming from corporate, for example, you've built up career collateral, you know what you're doing in certain areas, build around that, and that is your faster path. And you then can get premium prices almost from the beginning if you know how to package, market, and sell that. So
Yes,
very
completely
different.
agree. Yeah,
Hmm.
completely agree with that. I think there's the piece where people try to jump into something and they see other people doing something, so they're like, "Oh, I should try that," or somebody's tells them to try something new. And what the problem is when you do that, you're like making a complete 180 and going in a different direction, and no one knows you for that, right?
Right.
That's when the imposter syndrome comes in. And so then people feel like they're an imposter because they haven't been able to do it themselves. And they're wondering why they can't put themselves out there and feel authentic about what they're doing. It's because that's not what you were meant to do, right?
It's
So,
not their wheelhouse. It just
yes.
isn't. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I always like to say it's like the 1 to 10 degree turn, right? So you're just like, what is your expertise in, and where do you have that expertise that we
Mhm.
just shift 1 degree or even up to 10 degrees? We don't have to go further than that. That just points you in a different direction, but people will still know your expertise. They can see the value in what you're providing, and you've already built so much around that, right?
Yeah. And often that's where your first clients can come from. When
Mhm.
it was really easy for me, for example, to step into business coaching because I was already out there networking with business owners, with people in business, and they knew I had sold businesses. They knew that I knew what I was doing in business. And so when I came into business coaching, for me, I wanted to see if those skills were transferable,
Mhm.
just because I had never done any kind of coaching like that before. But looking back, if I would have had anyone that could have shown me a different path, I could have completely gone a different path from the very beginning. I didn't need to go the 197 a month route. I didn't know about the coaching industry enough to know how to put the pieces together. So yeah, it just really is your faster path, but it was easy to step into that because I could just go to people I already knew and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." And the credibility was already there. So I didn't have to convince anybody. And it wasn't a hard shift for me. I remember I hit six figures really fast. It was after that that I got stuck. I knew enough to go get that kind of business, but it was after that I could not get beyond that. And that's when I really took a step back and said, what's wrong here? Why isn't this? I know how to build businesses. Why isn't this going any further?
Yeah. And that's when you added in your high ticket.
That's when I
And
changed my whole model.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it's true for anyone getting started at something new. They don't know what to do or how to do it. So finding that expertise that can help you out in the strategies and the things that you bring to your clients is so critical to help them get through that. And I love that you're bringing in and creating these OMG moments for them with these retreats and these events and things you're doing. Retreats are one of my favorite things to do. And it's so fun when you can bring a group of people together and it get them out of their environment, getting them doing something in a place they haven't been. It's an
Yes.
experience that transforms you forever.
Yeah, it really does. And it just also deepens the relationship that you have for me with my clients and also for them with each other. But they also leave with things. So I want to make sure when they come to those retreats, they're not just enjoyable, but they actually leave with assets. Like I bring in a professional photographer and we do a photo shoot. And I want to make sure that when they leave there, they've really accomplished something and they're walking away with something. So not just the wonderful experience and the whole wow of all of it is included in that, but okay, what are you also walking away with that's now completed and ready to go? So that's important as well. But yeah, they're not only fun, but they just really deepen the relationships with people.
Yeah, absolutely. What is something you have coming up? What's an OMG moment you're trying to create over this next year?
So I have a couple of partnerships that I'm working on right now where we're putting together some programs and I'm really excited about those. One in particular, though, we're going to be doing a retreat together, and we're actually going to do it around engineering your celebrity. And we're going to be creating media reels in a $22 million studio with them. And so, again, having them walk away with some assets that are going to help them market their business. So that's coming up in the new year. And then I'm going to be actually working in a new niche with a partner that has access to 440,000 of these particular industry professionals. And we're putting together a program. So I'm really excited about that. And then I'll still have my own things going, but those are two new things that I have going on. And then definitely going to get on more stages. And I'm working on my fourth book. So I have a lot. A lot.
Exciting. I can't wait to see how it unfolds for you this next year and keep us
Thank you.
updated. I know you also have a gift you wanted to share with everyone as well. Tell us about that.
I do. So we just in the media and marketing side of my business launched the second issue of my Expert in You magazine. And I would love for you to go grab your digital copy. It's free. When you register, you'll be able to get both copies. So you'll get the first and second. But this last edition just came out a week ago. And I have some celebrities in there, people that are doing some big things out there, but it's really filled with inspiring stories and strategies. And I feature wonderful entrepreneurs. So go grab that. You're going to learn a lot from it as well as get inspired. And you can get that at expertinyoumagazine.com.
Awesome. Go check that out. I'm Can't wait to read some of the articles and see what's in there.
Thank you.
We'll have the link for you guys in the show notes below. So make sure you go check that out and see what comes out. And I know you're going to have some incredible tips and things that come in this every single episode or every single episode that comes out.
Issue. I knew what you meant.
Awesome. It has been so fun having you on, Anne. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tami. It's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't wait to see you guys next week as we have another guest coming on. It's been so fun having you. I hope you got some great tips out of this. Remember, high ticket is the key, especially when you're getting started, to get out there and really be able to make a difference fast, be able to bring in the right people into your business. So take a look at your model and see what you might be missing when it comes to your offers and your strategy. Have a blessed day. Bye.